I woke up and made tea for both of us and then went and had a bath. Then told her to have a bath and come. When she dressed, I sat her on the wooden pedestal. I took her vitals and noted them down in a notebook. I did puja to the Devi statue brought for this purpose. I went and opened the door to let Sinaya and Bhairava come in. When he came in, I told Nimisha to get up and go and sit there on the bed made on the floor. I told him to clean up around the house. Sat in front of Nimisha chanting mantras. After completing my mantras, I played the tape recorder. The sound of Om reverberated around the house. So, this way we have gone through 2 months. After the second month, she seemed to have missed her monthly period. I kept constant watch over her health, and from the city I brought a chemical composition used in the diagnostics lab for confirming the pregnancy. I waited for another fortnight and started to check her urine for pregnancy. After another week the urine showed positive. I waited until the completion of the 3 months and brought her out of the house with puja and other things. I sat her on the veranda and called for Balaya. I told him to call Zamindar to take her home and let her have a bath and take her to the doctor for a checkup. I closed the door and told Sinaya not to let anyone enter the house, or else they will cough up blood. 95. I came back later and took the Devi statue and placed her in the temple specially made for her beside the Ram temple. Did pujas and came home. Now I ordered Sinaya to clean the house and there won't be restrictions on anyone. Now I named the Devi statue Santana Lakshmi. She is the fertility god. Those who suffer from infertility can visit her and can get children. Now people from surrounding areas come to visit her to get children. Slowly her popularity increased and people started to visit from long distances. Some people would ask me to perform special pujas for them to get children early. I would perform some puja for them. I noted down some mantras for this purpose and learned them by heart. They would give some money and would go away. I never asked anyone for money. Never insisted on anyone paying. Even after special pujas, if they go away without offering a single paise I would not say anything. But I would remember those faces, lest when they return I could say you have not offered anything to Devi, why would she offer you children? As if it is their fault for not getting children. Then I would bless them with children. Slowly the word spread that Devi would bless you as your offering. Those who have got children would come back with an offering of their status. Those poor people get offerings beyond their means. I would bless the offering and return to them. When they ask why am I returning their offering, I would say you would have brought these with loans, so Devi would not take anything beyond your status. This way the people's beliefs increased manifold. One section of poor people believe the Devi is for them, the poor. Another section of rich people believe Devi is for them because she accepted their offerings. So both sections of people started worshipping her. When the Dussehra came, Rama Kudir people decided they should have a Jathara for the Devi. They went to Balaya and requested him to consider holding the Jathara for the Devi. He consulted Zamindar, who accepted the idea and provided the required money for holding the Jathara. Now Nimisha is full term and expected to go into labor any day. The first Jathara of the Devi was a full success and people from surrounding villages came to visit her. After the conclusion of the Jathara, the next day Nimisha went into labor and gave birth to a son. Now Zamindar believed that due to Jathara only she gave birth to a son. The only worry was that his son seemed to be a little dark. I told him to wait for some time, and as I expected the baby turned less dark. I told him he must be born when a dark Devi was invoked, and as she blessed him he would be little black until her blessing wears off. Over time he will turn fair and handsome. He would be fierce and you should try to contain his anger for his own good. 97. So, when the next year Jathara was to be celebrated he had borne all the expenses, and over that, he had invited some of his associates. One of them is the minister of the state assembly. When the Zamindar narrated his story of Yagnam to him he was impressed with the outcome. And he was told the Santana Lakshmi Devi was the deity for the Yagnam and she attained the powers to bless the children due to the Yagnam. So, the minister was not alone to attend the Jathara and asked one of his colleagues who had a problem with having children to visit the Devi. Within a year of attending the Jathara and having a special puja performed for him, he got a daughter. Now for those without a child, daughter would be better. When he visited, I blessed him he would get a son next time. Belief is so powerful that it makes impossible things possible. So, the word has now spread to the whole state. Now the minister had decided to have a temple built for the Devi. Not to let Rama behind, I suggested having 2 temples built for both of them. Now I have become a person to be consulted for, starting with childlessness to how to attain the power to be a minister. How to win elections. They started to consult me and would get their wishes fulfilled. I always said to them Krishnarpanam. When someone asked why I am chanting that, the surrounding people would explain. Either people called me Swami or Krishnarpanam Baba. The breakthrough in my life happened when one politician, a certain Reddy, came with the wish of becoming CM. He wanted a kind of yagnam I have done for the Zamindar to be performed. I told him that yagnam is putrakamesti, this has to be Ashvamedha yagnam. A horse had to be given in the offering. I don't think that kind of yagnam can be performed in these times. I said we can do a simple yagnam with a goat offering, but with the same outcome. Reddy asked, how? I said, it has to be done similarly to yagnam I conducted for Zamindar. You take the information from him and come again. Reddy came back the next day and asked me, what is needed? I said, 1 Kanyar virgin is needed for this, and she should be above the age of 18 and below 30 to perform this. I planned for her to disappear after the yagnam. He agreed and the same instructions were issued for the yagnam. Only difference now is that 1 goat was allowed to roam the fields. No one should restrain the goat and 1 bodyguard should be present with it for 24 hours. I took the girl to the house allotted for the purpose. In the daytime, I actually performed some pujas. And this time I got a statue of Indra made for this, Indra being the king of gods. A girl of 21 was brought for this purpose. I sat her on the wooden pedestal and performed some pujas. 99. Now after the puja in the night I gave her some milk laced with drugs and I literally raped her. Then the same routine the next day. On the 3rd morning, I could not find her, she has disappeared from the locked room. I continued the pujas without interruption. When the caretaker asked where is the girl, I said she is sitting on the pedestal in a sukshma roop, she is invisible to the naked eye. Only those who can see with the 3rd eye like Shiva only can see her. I got one of my students to enact the act. After doing some meditation, he could see her. Nowadays I have an entourage of students of both genders. I performed this yagna for 30 days and at the end of the 30 days, we offered the goat to the Indra statue by bringing it out into the open. In the presence of the politician Reddy, Balaya, Zamindar and people from the surrounding villages come to watch the offering. We called a butcher to cut the neck of the goat and collect the blood and offered it to the Indra statue. When the ritual was completed, the girl came out of the house walking. She said she had been to heaven and back. I don't know where she was taken, she was thinking it was heaven. But why did she was sent to another dimension? It did not want me to continue that with her. Maybe it did not want me to use drugs on them, or a 3rd day could have meant something to her. I asked her what Indra told you. She said, your wish will be fulfilled. I looked at Reddy, the girl's disappearance and re-emergence and her saying that Indra has told her the wish will be fulfilled had made the yagnam more authentic. Now we put Indra in a makeshift temple. Now he has become an attraction for anyone who wants to attain power. In due course the politician became CM. He had allotted a piece of land for our ashram. A piece means around 10 acres of land. We have built a big hut for ourselves and huts for the visitors. Then slowly foreigners started to visit our ashram and would stay over for some time. Their contributions would be in dollars and I started to send these dollars to a Swiss bank account. Nowadays they would directly transfer the amount to Swiss bank accounts and would give me information to stay at the ashram. I never objected to anyone staying at the ashram. In due course, some people who had nothing to do, and had fed up with life started to live at the ashram and they would work for free at the ashram. Like cleaning the grounds, and preparing food in the kitchen according to their liking. I never told anyone to do this or do that or don't do that. When some foreigners started to go naked, I put them in a separate place, away from the public glare. I never objected to anyone's actions, and let them live as they like. It has become an added attraction for people who want to run away from home or would like to live as they want. 101. Now I had to segregate the ashram according to the people who wants to stay there. There were rumors about the ashram, but no one acted on them. Because the people staying there were living as per their wishes, they would not complain. There is no outside society interfering in their day-to-day activities. As the political pressure mounting on the CM, he has requested us to do something about it. Now we have shifted our ashram to an island and no one can interfere with our activities. Our original ashram is for those with religious beliefs and pious actions. I stayed with the original ashram and ran the ashram as was at the beginning. If they want to stay at the island ashram, they would pay to the numbered account and would stay there. It became a separate setup. In the year 1992, I got a call from home to come urgently. I went to Ramakudir taking a jeep from the vehicles available. It would be easy to drive on those muddy roads in a jeep. When I reached home, Sneha was crying. I asked her, "What is the problem?" She said, "Lena disappeared from school. Other students said they were playing hide and seek after school. She went to hide and then she was not found. We have searched everywhere. Where could she go in this small village?" Balaya went to give a report at the Thana. I said, "Okay, let them check. Maybe her mother came and took her back. After 7 years, her problems might have been mitigated, so she must have gone with her mother. Otherwise where she will go? There is no Jathara also at present time, and she will go missing there. Let us wait and see." Sneha said, "If her mother took away, at least she could have informed us." I said, "Do you remember in what condition Sahithi came to us? She was 3 months pregnant and her family missing from her home, and then she just disappeared on the 21st day function in front of all the guests. Lena also might have disappeared like that. Everything is God's magic. Who are we to question him?" 103. Chapter 4. The year 1994. Kumar. By this time, we have grown so much, that I don't have an idea. Its finances are managed by a trust. We manage 2 accounts for our trust. One is managed in Indian currency and the money is saved in banks. The second account is saved in Swiss banks and is in dollars. Most of the dollars are brought by foreigners. Nowadays some foreigners are leaving the island and coming here to live a simple life. One of them is Joy. She has come to our ashram in fear of her husband. She said she was in the USA and her husband was torturing her and she escaped and reached her parents' place. He had reached there and with the help of her friend who works as an air hostess, she reached our ashram. She wanted to have security. I told her there will be no fear in our ashram. She can stay here freely without fear. After 1 week she approached me and said the fear is not getting suppressed, and she can't stay peacefully. I thought for a moment I have not been home for the last 6 months. I was only speaking on phone with Sneha and Atul. I told the driver to start the car and asked Joy to pack her bags and be ready. I took her to our village. Now due to the temples, Ramakudir has developed so much, it has all the facilities and it maybe will be declared a town in some time. Now we have our own house and the land was provided by one of the devotees and was built by another devotee. The temples are run by a trust and the trustee is Balaya. All the members were devotees who had profited somehow from the gods present there. I took Joy to our house and introduced her to Sneha. I said she was running away from her husband and would like to stay here to hide from him. I said, "Joy, you can do many things here. I don't think looking after the temples is against your religion. You can teach at the school. Or you can take up any work like social awareness programs or things like that. No one will object to you. This is the speciality of this village, there are no castes or religions here. Everyone is equal as it is equal before God. Every one of them is a God-fearing person. I have inculcated such an ideology in them. They don't go against my orders and I don't order them, I only request them. Sneha will take you around Ramakudir. I have come to see the children, they should be back from school now." After 2 days I went back to the ashram. Then there was a cyclone and the whole island which was part of the ashram cleaned up and there were no survivors. When someone asked me, I said, God has cleaned up the muck of the earth. Those who were staying there brought our country disrespect and nothing else. When I got my dollars, why do I care what happens to them? They are just some foreigners with no respect for fellow human beings. They become so violent after someone introduced them to drugs. 105. In my next discourse with the residents of the ashram, I showed them as an example of what would happen if you leave the path of Dharma and take to lawlessness. So, every one of them should take it as a lesson from God and refrain from going on the path of adharma, which will only anger God. Did I ever refrain anyone from doing anything? Everyone chooses their own path. If their path is Dharma, God will lead them to salvation, or else He will lead those who chose adharma to the path of destruction, as had happened on the island. I got a call to come home as Zamindar had come and wanted a puja performed by me only. So, I took a jeep, reached Ramakudir and went to Balaya's house directly. Zamindar greeted me with a namaste and told his son standing beside him also to greet me. I blessed him long life with the grace of God. And we all sat down. Zamindar said, I wanted to perform a sacred thread ceremony on my son. I did not know that they had the sacred thread, but agreed to do it for his son. At one time I thought he suspected, he thought his son might be born to me. But he wants to have the thread so he will study Vedas and become a scholar. There is a school for these children who wants to study Vedas. So, he had come to me with the request for a sacred thread ceremony. I performed that and they went away and I came home. I inquired about Joy, and she is involved in many things to the upbringing of the people of Ramakutir. She teaches them whatever she could. Then she would help other women in their daily routines, explaining to them how to do things smartly rather than using force or hard work. I sat and called her and inquired about her and her work. She said she is happy here and she would like to help the villagers. Then one young lady came and sat beside Joy after greeting me with a namaste. I looked at Joy. Joy said, she is a friend who has sent me to your ashram. Her name is Sunitha. I blessed her and asked, what do you do? She said, I work for Indian Airlines as an air hostess and came to visit Joy for the holidays. I asked her, how long she would like to stay. She said, I got a month's leave and like the environment here. I asked, if she likes to visit our ashram, she is welcome. She said, I wanted to come to your ashram. I was looking for transportation and you come visiting, can you take me to the ashram? I said, certainly, but I would like to stay for 2 days before returning. She said, I don't have a problem waiting for 2 days. I spent 2 days checking the temples and reporting to Balaya about what needed to be done and then inquired about the next Jathara to be performed at Dussehra. I told him I will visit Rama Kudir then. 107. I inquired about how Joy is doing in Rama Kudir. He said, she is trying to learn Telugu, but she teaches Hindi, English and maths. Then she meets with the women. With the help of Sneha she manages to help them out. In some time, she would be part of Rama Kudir. I took his leave and left for the ashram with Sunitha. On the way to the ashram we chatted and I asked her about her details, where did she study and things like that. She asked me, how did you marry Sneha? As Rama Kudir people already know our story, she must have heard something or the other about us. So, as we have time to reach the ashram, I told her my story about bringing her to the fields and then coming to Rama Kudir to help Balaya and how we settled down in the village. Then she inquired about Sahithi. I told her whatever I knew about her and asked her to check on her when she goes to Bombay. I will give her the address. She said, before going back I will take the address. We reached the ashram and I took her to my hut and asked if she would like to have something. She asked, where do you prepare your food? I said I have a small kitchen. I showed my kitchen with a gas stove, fridge and all the required items. She asked, don't you scared of the cooking in this hut? I said, this looks like a hut but the material is not combustible. There is no fear of fire here. She said, you sit there Swami, I will prepare tea and bring you. I said, there is no need to call me Swami, call me Kumar, that is my name. She said, Kumar, I feel like I have heard that name before. She went into the kitchen area to prepare tea. She came with 2 cups and placed them in front of me. She sat down and asked, how do you sit on the floor Swami? I said I have been habituated to sitting on the floor. She asked, if I want to lie down, Where can I sleep? I said, take one of the mattresses from there and put it on the floor and you can lay there. If you feel the light is too much, you can pull the curtain aside. She asked, why you don't have doors for the hut? I said, we don't hide anything here. The way you want live life, you can live, and no one objects to anything. Earlier we used to have nude people here, but they started having drugs here, so I sent them to the island in the sea. Now only the people who follow Dharma stay here. Still, we don't object to anything. You can do anything to help here. Prepare food or clean the grounds or go shopping and get the required items for the kitchen. Whatever way you want to contribute to the ashram, you can do it. Even if you want to keep idle and sleep the whole day, no one will object. She said, I don't want to sleep the whole day. 109. I said, I am just giving an example. You are our guest and you don't need to do any work. I lay on the floor and put my hand under my head. She asked, you are sleeping on the floor, Swami. I said, I am not sleeping on the floor. These bedsheets were placed all over the floor. Anyone can come and sleep here, or they can pick the mattress and put it on the floor and can lay here. She asked, is this hut not your own, Swami? I said, as I told you, nothing in this world is mine. I have given everything to God. Krishnarpanam. Do you know the meaning of the word Krishnarpanam? Everything is given to Lord Krishna. I don't keep anything with me. Either pop or punya is given back to the Lord. So, this hut is everyone's property and no one's property. She asked, how can you live like this? You have a wife and a son and I heard you had a goddaughter, whom you have raised for 8 years and she disappeared. I sat up and said, everything is God's will. I was given an opportunity to look after her for such time as I was entitled. I hope she is back with her mother. She said, there were also rumors about you. I said, when 10 people talk good about you, there will be one person who talks bad about you. Because he could not get what he wanted. Because he did not have faith in the god or goddess he was praying for. One thing is, you have to keep faith in God and be patient. I lay and put the hand under my head and closed my eyes. I don't know how long I slept. I woke with pressure on my hand. I looked at my side, Sunitha sleeping on my hand, making it her pillow. I got up, put a pillow under her head and slept a little far from her. When I woke up again it was getting dark. I slipped on chapal on my feet and went on rounds of the ashram. Whoever greeted I greeted back with a namaste. I don't keep a greeting also, I give it back. There is a military hawaladar in there. He always gives a military salute and I salute him back. If anyone wants to give any money they can go to the office and give it there, and if anyone wants some money they can go and ask them. They note down the name and gives them money. Because no one keeps any money here. If they want to go visit someone or go shopping for such things, they go and get some money and do their work. There is no value for money inside the ashram, it is only outside. Sunitha stayed for 1 week and decided to go back to Bombay. I inquired how she will be going to Bombay. She said she will go to the airport and she would get a free ride to Bombay. I said, I will take you to Ramakutir and from there, someone will drop you at the airport. If she wants she can confirm the flight details from the office, there would be a phone available. She asked, will they let me call? 111. I said, I told you there are no restrictions here, you can call whomever you want to call, even you can make an international call freely. She asked, why do I need an international call? I said, everything is free here, nothing is personal in this ashram. She went and made a call and came back. I need to leave for the village and then to the airport. I took her to Ramakutir and got the driver to drop her at the airport. He came and reported she caught the flight and gone away. I said, Krishnarpanam. I asked Joy to confirm Sunitha reached safely to her house. Joy came back after 2 hours and informed me that Sunitha reached her house and she spoke with her. I nodded my head. She looked at me and must have thought I was in meditation, sat before me and started to meditate herself. I closed my eyes. I heard the word dad and opened my eyes. It is Atul standing before me. Everything he normally asks his mother, as I am mostly not in the home. I looked at him inquiringly. He hesitates and said, nothing dad, and went over to his mother. I thought, why he is hesitating to talk to me. I never scolded him, let alone make him feel uncomfortable in my presence. What could be hesitating to ask me? I looked at Joy, who was looking at me. Go and see what he wants. After coming to live with us, she has come close to him and she teaches him also. She is like a teacher and friend to him. After Lena went away, he misses his sister. That is when Joy entered our house and he came closer to her. He calls her Auntie, as jokingly as she is opposite to him. If Sneha scolds him, she would come in between, and Joy had to listen to Sneha's scolding directed at her, but she hardly understands her, so it won't be a problem for her. Sneha would shout at her and then at last would say, "How can I talk to you?" She would forget other languages when scolding him. Joy would smile and take Atul to his room. He would tell them his problems and she would listen patiently. If she thinks she need to add something, then she would speak. Joy came back and said, "It is nothing." He wanted to ask about Lena and then decided that it would futile to ask you. I told Joy to call him and sat him and told him under what conditions Sahithi had come to us, how when we went to her found her house locked and I had to bring her to Ramakutir. Then how we found that she has come from 1982 to 1984. Then how after giving birth to Lena she had gone away or disappeared as she appeared in front of us. Then, like her mother, Lena also went away. It seems she must have gone to her mother or father. Sahithi used to tell how her Kumar, Lena's father, used to look like me. The only difference is he wears trousers and I wear a dhoti, and wore all these showing him my neck. 113. After hearing the story, he says, "Thanks Dad for letting me know all this. Hope she is happy with her father and mother." Gets up and goes away. I asked Joy, did I do correctly to let him know the truth? She said, "Truth never hurt anyone, lies which come back again and again to hurt you." I said, "Thanks for your insight." As I find it very hot and it would be the end of summer in a few days, I decided to stay back at the house and give discourses to the villagers in the evening. They would come and ask their questions or doubts. I would clarify their doubts as much as possible. If I can't give an immediate answer, I would tell them that I need confirmation from God, and I will answer later. So, on one such day, Joy asked, "Why do some people go towards violence and do such horrible things?" I said, "If you see our Puranas and even in history, there are always two opposite things in this world, like two sides of a coin. If there is violence in one person and another person would be kind. If there is horror on one side and there is peacefulness on another side. This universe is made of dual things, like men and women. Then if there is an angel, there is a devil or beast. We will not know the meaning of one without knowing the other. If there is no violence in this world, how would you know peace? If there is no devil, why would you care for an angel?" So, God made the universe in such a way, that is the duality of the world. There is light and then darkness. Then males and females might contradict each other, but they are required by the world to continue generations and humankind. Without that, what would be our world? Just barren lands which are overgrown by maybe trees and forest. What God tells us is that abstain from violence and bring peace into the world. Praise the Lord and denounce the devil. Fill light in everyone's heart and drive out darkness. Joy said, "Well said, Swami." I said, "Krishnarpanam." Seeing the heat outside increasing year by year, I called the trust and asked them to prepare a big room to be prepared with an air conditioner in it for the summer. Sunitha returned after a few days. I asked, "What happened?" Sunitha said, "I was suspended from duty and my records were destroyed during last year's bomb blasts and they have not given my job back. I could not stay there without any work and thought I would return to ashram. So, I came over here first to meet Joy and then go to ashram." I said, "You are always welcome here. You can stay here or at the ashram. I will be here until the first rain." Sunitha said, "Then I will also stay here for some time." Seeing Sunitha, Atul's face lit up. He went to her and hugged her. I did not know he was so close to her. As the rains were delayed, we stayed in Ramakutir longer than thought. 115. Joy joined Sunitha and would ask questions and her doubts. And they would listen to me attentively when I am trying to explain them. When the rains started, it rained for 2 days continuously and stopped. But the weather becomes pleasant enough for us to go back to the ashram. I packed my bag with some clothes and readied for going to the ashram. Now Sunitha already decided to go to the ashram with me, and now Joy also thought she can go to the ashram for some time before coming back to teach students. So, we took a car and reached the ashram around 6 p.m. We put our clothes in the hut and I went for a bath and changed and went to the temple in the ashram and prayed there and gave arti and visited the AC hut. It looked like a big indoor stadium from the outside. After looking after the arrangements, I returned to the hut. I told the ladies I am going for dinner. They also came with me to have dinner. I had my meager meal and we returned to the hut. After praying for some time, I lay on the floor and felt uneasy sleeping on the floor. It seems, I have accustomed to laying on the mattress at home, or maybe I am becoming old. I picked up a mattress and lay there and went to sleep. When I turned in my sleep I touched someone. I opened my eyes and found Sunitha sleeping beside me on a mattress and Joy is sleeping on the other side of her. I turned and went back to my sleep. Got up and had a bath and went to perform puja at the temple and came back and sat meditating. I felt a touch on my feet and opened my eyes. It is Sunitha looking expectantly at me to bless her. I blessed her so all her wishes would be fulfilled. Then I told her there is no need to touch my feet. She said, "Sorry to disturb you, Swami, I wanted to give greetings to you." I said, "Don't be sorry, I told you there is no need to touch the feet, a simple namaste would be enough." She said, "I will keep that in my mind, Swami." I nodded to her. She sat with me to meditate. This went on for a week, then Joy went back to Rama Kutir saying the students are calling her. Then 2 days went by with the same routine. Then on the third night after Joy went away it was raining heavily. Everyone went to the AC hall to sleep. I and Sunitha were left in my hut. I took a mattress, laid it on the floor and took a pillow and slept. In the middle of the night I felt a weight on me and opened my eyes. It is Sunitha who put her mattress close to mine and slept by putting her legs on mine. I removed her legs and turned to the other side and went back to sleep. 117. She might have felt the cold due to the incessant rains, and she came closer to me and hugged me. I did not want to disturb her anymore, so I went back to my sleep with her chest touching my back. The next day when I woke up the rains are continuing to pelt over. I took an umbrella to go to the temple for puja and returned. There is no one moving around the grounds due to the rain. Only those who have some work are using umbrellas and going on their work. I sat in my hut and meditated. Sunitha came and said, "Swami, I am feeling cold." I told her to pick up a bedsheet and put it around her. She looked under the mattresses and found a fresh set of bedsheets and took one to put around her body. Sunitha asked, "Don't you feel the cold, Swami?" I said, "I am habituated to all the climates, I don't feel much heat or cold. I just want to stay back in Rama Kutir for some time, so I said it is hot out and we will go after the rains start. I told you for your benefit, we will go later." Sunitha said, "Thanks, Swami." I told her, "Come near," and I put my thumb on her forehead and read a mantra and said, "Within 5 minutes you will feel the heat rise from within you." After some time, Sunitha threw the bedsheet aside and said, "You are correct, Swami, I am not feeling the cold anymore." I thought I am removing the cold for her, but I did not expect the effect it would have on her. Chapter 5. Sunitha. I did not expect Kumar's mantra would have this kind of effect on me. I call him Swami, but in my mind, I call him Kumar. I feel I have known him for a long time, like a long-lost lover. To keep close to him, I did not attempt to clear my name on the suspension matter. Those files were destroyed and I am getting half pay without doing any work. They are depositing the money in my bank account. So, I decided to go and be with Kumar. As long I was in his village, he would be sleeping in his room and I had to share the bed with Joy. When he said we will go to ashram, I thought I would be closer to him. But Joy had come with me to the ashram. Nothing is lost, I tried to be closer to him during the night. Even when I put my legs on him, he did not scold me, he just removed my legs from him and turned to the other side. Once he told me he would not restrain anyone from doing anything. So later I came closer to him and hugged him and slept. He must have thought I was hugging him due to the cold. But I wanted to feel his body. Even though he is just a pujari, he has a strong body. I heard from Joy that he is just 30 and running this ashram. When someone told me about this ashram, I thought about Joy, who wants to get away from Bombay fearing her husband. I thought she would be safe here. She came and then Kumar took her to his home and gave her a place there. When she called me to tell me about her, I thought, what is his intention in taking her home? But he did not lay his hand on her. Instead, he tried to keep her away by keeping her at his house. Then when I visited Joy because 119, I have free time, Kumar came there for some work and he called me to speak. That is when I saw his personality. I understood why all these people listen to him. They named it divinity, but I could see what it is. It is his magnetism that is what is pulling people to him. I heard some stories about him from Joy and I also heard some rumors from some people in Rama Kudir who were against him. But they don't understand him. Because of him they could eat 3 meals a day. Without him, the villagers had to work in the fields. Now they are running businesses and they are kept throughout the year busy. During Jathara they don't even get time to go to the toilet. They could appoint assistants to run their shops. Still, some people spread rumors. Like he took Zamindar's keep to the house in the fields and raped her to give her son. Then when the CM aspirant brought a girl to him he drugged her and raped her, and on the 3rd day, she ran away and only came back after the completion of Yagna. To check on him I slept near him. Then I tried to put my legs on him, he just removed them and went back to his sleep. Then I hugged him and slept. Still no emotion from him. He must have thought I am suffering because of the cold weather, so he put a mantra on me, which brought a hotness rays from within me. It seems unknowing, he seemed to have awoken my sleeping lady in me. All these years I have put her to sleep thinking I have not found a man to my liking. Even some colleagues and even pilots have approached me seeing I am single. I could keep them away easily. I don't know what caused it, my testing of Kumar or the heat he has risen in me or the connection I am feeling with him. I felt a feeling for him to keep close and do those things I have missed for all these years. I felt like I have been waiting for him all these years. I felt he was the man for me. I did not think he is running an ashram or he is a pujari with a wife and a son. I felt I had to have him to myself. In his own words, he does not refuse anyone anything. Let me see if he refuses my advances. I meditated for some time. I opened my eyes and looked at Kumar. He has already laid on his mattress and was sleeping. From his rhythmic breathing, he must be sleeping for some time. I picked a mattress and laid it beside his mattress, so he will be facing me, and lay on the bed facing the ceiling. I waited for a minute and picked up his hand and put it on my chest. I felt a thrill run up in me from his touch. After some time, he pulled his hand and put it to his side. This time I loosened the buttons on my nightdress and opened up my shirt. I was not wearing anything underneath. I put his hand on my chest again, then pulled the bedsheet up over his hand. His cool touch on my chest was enticing. What did he think? I have no idea. He pressed over my boob. I looked at him. His eyes seemed closed in the dim light from the night bulb. Boldened by his reaction, I moved the hand to my crouch area after loosening the thread on the pajama. His touch on my pussy has brought the hidden lust in me. His hands caressed my pussy and then played with my lips. A little moan escaped from my mouth. Then after a minute he mounted me and started riding me with his rhythmic movement. Spent, he rolled aside and went back to sleep. I had never had this kind of experience before. Satisfied, I fixed my dress and slipped into sleep. Kumar. 121. I have been sleeping. I felt Sneha come and slept beside me and she was arousing me as usual. Normally I would keep her away and she would try to come close in the night. When she aroused me, I satisfied her and went back to sleep. When I got up, sat down on the bed and called Sneha and looked where she normally sleeps. But instead of Sneha, Sunitha is sleeping beside me. Then I thought about what happened last night. Did I have a dream last night? I could not decide what happened and I went for my bath. After the bath, I went over to the temple for my daily puja and returned to the hut and sat down to meditate. But my mind could not concentrate on meditation. I was thinking about what happened last night. Previously I never had that kind of dream. I opened my eyes and Sunitha is sitting in front of me. I asked her, "Did something happen last night?" She asked back, "What could have happened?" I asked, "It was raining, and if you had some problem with the rain." She said, "No problem, I had a good sleep." I thought if I had done something to her she would know, so, it must be a dream. Am I missing Sneha so much, that now I am getting dreams about her? I think I better go back to Ramakutir and stay there for some time. I got up and packed my bag and Sunitha asked me, "Are you going somewhere, Swami?" I said, "I am going back to Ramakutir." She said, "I am also coming." I said, "Then pack your bag, we will leave now." One devotee brought breakfast for us. I told her, "I am going to Ramakutir, tell them to get me a car." She nodded her head and went away. Sunitha while packing her bag asked, "Is there some problem, Swami?" I said, "I feel like I am needed in Ramakutir. Come have breakfast and we will leave." After completing breakfast, we left for Ramakutir in a car. Sunitha. From his demeanor, it seems he did not understand what happened last night. It seems he thought Sneha came into his dream and had sex with him, so he might be thinking that he is missing her and want to go home. What shall I do? Tell him the truth and then see what happens, or go with him and let him do whatever he wants to do in Ramakutir and then come back later and resume my relationship with him? What should I do? Should I tell him and stop him from going to Ramakutir, or just go with him and come back, take my chances with him and try again later? 123. Kumar. We took the car and reached home by 2 p.m. I have already phoned I am coming. So, Sneha prepared lunch for us. We completed lunch and then after some time lay on the bed. Sneha came over and asked, "What happened? You have returned after just 2 days. Have you any urgent work you need to attend to here?" I said, "Nothing like that. Last night I remembered you, so I came back home. I think I am keeping you away, and God told me you are needed at home. So, I came back home. I will stay here for some time. Maybe Lord Rama has some work for me." I managed to stay the whole rainy season in Ramakutir. There were some problems at the ashram due to heavy rains. A rivulet was overflowing and the water entered our ashram, and the new AC hut was built at a higher ground and the people living there and sleeping there did not face any problems. If we stayed at my hut we would have faced much inconvenience. I thought Lord Rama must have brought me to Ramakutir to relieve me from the inconvenience. I inquired about the hut. They said it will take some time to repair the hut. As I don't have any immediate idea of going back, I told them to take their time preparing my hut. Maybe due to the dream, my love for Sneha increased and we used to spend the nights daily in our beds. By the time winter came, Sneha became pregnant. So, I stayed back for a further time. At this time, I got a call from Delhi about a politician's daughter. You know how things move in political circles. The CM aspirant who had visited me had told them about Zamindar getting a son even after trying to have children for many years and failing. So they called me to come to Delhi to visit them and discuss what can be done to help them. Now I have never been to Delhi, so I asked Sneha to accompany me. She is nauseous and said she would better stay home. Then Joy said she had teaching, which she can't avoid. Then I am left with Sunitha. I asked Sunitha if she would like to accompany me to Delhi, and she immediately agreed to come with me. She also has been there and stayed for 6 months for training there. Sunitha said, "It would be very cold there, you might need hot clothes there." I said, "I don't need any hot clothes as I don't feel cold and she can take her hot clothes." Sunitha said, "I would better buy them when we reach Delhi." I said, "It is up to you, I will get them to get the tickets for both of us." I told Balaya about our decision to go to Delhi. Balaya said, "I will inform them and arrange for the traveling arrangements." We went over to Vizag and stayed at Zamindar's house and then from there we caught the train and reached Delhi. 125. There we were put in a house and we were given a car with a driver. The driver said we had to wait 2 days for us to see the lady as she was not allowed to visit. I said to the driver that we should have a tour of the city. He took us on a tour of the city and the next day he took us to see the Taj Mahal. Then the third day the politician, Mr. Rajveer Khanna came with his daughter, Loveleen Kaur. After the introductions, I asked him, what is his problem? Rajveer said, my daughter could not conceive. We had her checked and she was not having any problems. As you had given a son to the zamindar, can you do something for her too? I looked at her and she looked beautiful. That time I had done that to help Namisha to return her favor. Now can I do that to her? I asked her to show her hand. I took her hand and closely looked at the lines on her hand. She seemed to have children and she had 2 lines on the side to indicate her having 2 relations. I asked, when she was married. Rajveer said, 4 years back. I said, I need to speak with her privately. They must have already been informed about the way I do things. He said, you can go and speak in a room. I took her to the room, sat her on the bed and came to the door and put the white powder on the door frame, closed the door. I came back and sat in front of her. I said, I need to have clarity about your personal life. Please tell me if you have any boyfriends or other physical relations. Based on that only I can decide on what way I can help you out. Loveleen said, I never had any relations. I caught her hand and looked into her eyes. I could see the heat in her eyes. In the cold of Delhi, I felt the heat getting to me and I felt hot all over my body. I got up and switched on the fan and sat down. I asked her, what is your relationship with your husband? Loveleen said, I did not have a proper night with him since our marriage. I asked her, do you think your husband is impotent? She replied, it seems so. I asked her, what kind of behavior he had with you on the first night? Loveleen said, he had come fully drunk. Then he made me undress and touched me and slept off. I felt so hot with his touch, that I did not know what to do and went and sat in the shower for an hour. Then he did not even touch me the next time. I asked, did you try to arouse him at any time? Loveleen said, I had taken advice from friends and tried to arouse him but he would not get aroused by my touch. I seemed to get an idea and asked her, what he was like with other girls. Would he follow them or try to flirt with 127? Them or any kind of indication that he did not like you but have other relations? Loveleen replied, he does not seem to have any relations with girls but I heard he uses girls in his business, like supplying them for others and things like that. So that they would help him with his business. Once he took me to a party and tried to attach me to a businessman. I got away from there and when he came home he started to hit me. I complained to my father and they gave him a warning if he does such a thing again, they would put him in a grave. Then he did not try to hit me again. I asked her, how was he with other men? Loveleen said, I had no idea about that. I thought he is either impotent or gay. Nowadays more and more people coming out as gay. Earlier they were just discreet. Now how to find out about him? I asked her, what are you expecting from me? Do you want to go back to your husband or just have a child with him or what? Loveleen could not answer that. I said, think about what I asked, it all depends on what you want. If you want just peace of mind, you can come and stay at our ashram. There are no restrictions in our ashram. Whenever you want to return, you can go back. Think about what you want and tell me. I will wait for your answer. Loveleen nodded her head. I opened the door and rubbed the powder on the door frame and went out. I sat down and said to her father, she seemed unsure of herself. I gave her some time to think about what she wants, then I can decide what to do. Rajveer said, she wants to have a child. I said, let her say that. If she needs more time to think it over, she can come and stay at our ashram. If she gives me an answer when I am here, then accordingly I can advise what can be done. You can come back when she has an answer for me. They got up and took her away. I asked Sunitha, what do you think of them? She replied, it seems the politician wants some political favors, that's what I feel. From your interaction with Zamindar, they might have got an idea of what you may require. Instead of asking for political favor like you have given to the CM aspirant, they might want to show the lady and ask for the child. They may later ask for any political favors also. I said, that's what I thought. Let us wait and see. We will stay in the house for today, we will decide if they are returning tomorrow. I sat down to meditate and Sunitha also sat down with me. After completing my meditation, I asked the driver, "What about our lunch?" He said, "He is arranging." We completed our lunch and sat on the sofa and I asked her what did he say her name was. She said, "Loveline." I said I think I heard the name somewhere. Where could it be? 129. I thought about her. If what she says is true, she might be a virgin and she might be useful for performing the Indra Yagnam. But first I have to confirm and then plan accordingly. We had our dinner and readied for our night. In the bedroom, there are 2 single beds. I slept on one bed and Sunitha slept on another. For the last 2 days, we were going around the city and come tired. I meditated for some time and lay on the bed, thinking about what can be done in her case. What she is expecting from me. Or her father expecting some ministerial position. What would be her age? What did he say her name? Loveline. She is really like her name, Lovely. It seems she is made for love and what her husband made her, trying to make her sleep with someone else. What for? Some business contract. Would people go so low to act that way? In my line, I have seen lots of kinds of people. One fellow wanted to become CM and brought a girl to me. If I think about what I am not that much of a good man. I have done some bad things in the name of religion. I tried to take advantage of people's weaknesses. But when she was taken away from me after 2 days, I turned a new leaf and left all those things behind and tried to do good for the people. I give shelter to those who come for some shelter and some food to stay alive, without asking for anything in return. But those on the island, they have taken advantage of my leniency in maintaining the ashram. If they want to roam without clothes it is okay, but they brought drugs and things like that which cannot be pardoned. But I kept my principles and send them to the island, where they will not disturb anyone else. Whatever happened to them is God's will. Thinking about that I slipped into sleep. I felt a little weight on my leg and I felt it and moved it aside and turned. It is very cold in Delhi. Normally I would not use blankets but I had taken a blanket. I turned and felt beside me, and I felt a hot body in the blanket without clothes on. Again, like that night I thought Sneha came to me and I kissed her and I received a return kiss. It is dark in the room, there is no night lamp or it is switched off. I felt her body, did not feel like Sneha. She has given birth and she was different and now who could be beside me? The only person in the room is Sunitha. I called softly, "Sunitha." She replied in a sexy voice, "Yes." "Are you the one in my bed?" She replied, "Yes, please don't stop, I have been waiting for months." I asked, "What are you saying?" She said, "I thought I would have many nights with you and you went back home and I could not have time with you there. I thought this tour came as a godsend for me. From that night I had been waiting for this night." Sunitha. I saw him sleeping, and I could not get sleep with the cold of Delhi. I switched off the bed lamp and stripped and slept beside him. He has turned to the other side, sleeping. The bed is small and I could slip in beside him. If he wants to turn, he might have enough space just to make a turn. I touched and aroused him. He must have thought as before Sneha had come to his bed. He turned 131. And kissed me and I kissed back, and then he touched my body. This time he must have felt the difference and said, "Sunitha." I said, "Yes, I have been waiting for this night. Don't stop, go on." I thought he would get up and go, but instead, he continued kissing me and then he entered me and satisfied me. He said, "Go and dress up, you might catch a cold." I got up and dressed and satiated I went back to my bed. Kumar. I got up and looked at Sunitha who is sleeping on the bed beside my bed. It seems she wanted to have me, then why couldn't ask for it? I always told her to ask what you want. I don't reject anyone. I don't restrict anyone. There are a few foreign ladies who come to me requesting a night. I would never object to anyone, so I would oblige. When I saw her with joy, I felt something in me, that she was something to me once. I know I was married to Sneha, but I indulge myself once in a while. When I did the yagna with Namisha, it was consensual. She had agreed to have sex with me for getting herself a child. Then when the CM aspirant brought the girl I made the mistake of not taking her consent and God punished me by taking her away mid-puja. But when I realized my mistake, he did not punish me by spoiling my yagna and had fulfilled his wishes and made him CM. Now, what do these people want? Do they want Loveleen to have a child, or does her father wants to become CM? We have to wait and see. Asterisk 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 asterisk. I had a bath and did puja on a small Rama statue I keep with me when I go on tours like this. Then had meditated for some time. Then when Sunitha asked for coffee, I opened my eyes. Seeing me opening my eyes, she said, "Sorry, Swami." I nodded my head and got up and sat on the sofa. The driver came with coffee for Sunitha and asked me, "Do you want 1 cup, Swami?" I nodded and he put a cup in front of me. I asked him, "What is your name?" He said, "Vishal." I said, "I don't reject anything. I won't object to anything. I don't eat non-veg, but if Sunitha wants to eat it, I don't object to her eating. It is our principle at our ashram. We don't object to anyone or anything. Everybody is equal at the ashram. They can come live with me at my hut. They don't normally do that, because we have better places than my hut. I am a simple man. I take a frugal amount of food, keep my mind clean, and whatever I earn is not mine, it is all God's own. That is why I always say Krishnarpanam. Everything belongs to God, nothing is mine. We don't come with anything and we go with nothing. Then there won't be any kind of negative thoughts like jealousy, gluttony, etc." He asked, "For just a cup of coffee, is this discourse necessary?" I said, "It is not about coffee. Even if you offer me whiskey, I had to take it as tirtha. So I hope you understand my philosophy." 133. He said, "I got it. You will only ask what is necessary for you. Then if anyone offers you drinks or mutton or sex, you won't reject it because that is God's gift to you." I said, "You caught my philosophy very well. You can become my disciple." After 2 hours the party returned to their flat. I asked them what they decided. He said, "We can't decide what to do at this time." I said, "You send Loveleen to our ashram. Whatever you may decide. I can't perform any pujas or yagnas at this time as my wife is pregnant, and I can only perform any pujas only after a period of 5 months. So, I feel this is a better option at this juncture." After consultation among themselves and consulting with their advisor, they agreed to send her with us. We returned with Loveleen and her driver Vishal to the ashram. I went and had a look at my hut, which was redone. Now the hut was built on an elevated platform, still keeping the look of the hut. The outer walls and ceiling were protected from heat, by placing heat protecting materials inside the walls, which were made from some kind of hard plastic. Then one side of the hut on small elevated platform mattresses was placed, making it a big bed. It can be sat in the daytime or slept on at the night. Discourses can be given sitting on the mattresses and people can sit around on that. For the remainder of the hut, thick carpets were placed. These things have changed the look of the hut. Toilets and washrooms and a changing room were placed outside the hut with a door leading to them from the hut. There were cupboards on one side of the hut. I went in and looked around, put my bag inside a cupboard and came and sat in the center of the bed. Sunitha and Loveleen also put their bags in the cupboard. I told Vishal, "If you like to stay with us you can stay here, or there are other huts and an AC hall where most of the devotees stay. Here, as I told you before, no restrictions." He said, "I will go and have a look," and went away. I looked at the watch on the wall. It is nearing 7 a.m. I told Sunitha to acclimatize Loveleen about the ashram and where she can get what she wants. They both went away. In the meantime, I had my bath and completed puja and came back to the hut. After half an hour Sunitha returned with breakfast and a flask of coffee. She gave me breakfast. Then she poured me a cup of coffee. Completing my breakfast, I sat back on the bed. I asked Loveleen, "Can I call you Love?" Loveleen said, "Certainly, Swami." I told her, "You see, this is a free zone. You can stay here as you like. You can ask whatever you like or refuse whatever you don't like. Don't force other people is one of my policies. If you want money you can go to the office and collect it, and maybe go shopping. If you want food, there is a kitchen, Sunitha must have shown you. If you 135 want some work, there are different works around the ashram. If you don't want to do anything, that is your prerogative. If you want to speak or attend a kind of group session where everyone gets to speak about their life experiences, you can do so. Or you can start your kind of group activity. If anyone wants, they can come and join you. Things like that you can take up. Until you are not infringing on others' rights, you can do whatever you want here. You can't hit another person and say I want to do it. Instead, take permission from that person. If you get permission, then only you can hit them. All I am saying is, if you take permission from that person, you can enter their personal space. Like you want to kiss Sunitha here, you take permission and kiss her. I hope you understood what I am saying. The things of your personal nature you can do. If it involves others, you need to take permission. Chapter 6. The year 1995. Kumar, a member of the ashram, brought a girl of probably 14 or 15. I told her to sit. She sat in front of me. I asked her what is her name. She said, Stephanie. I caught her hand and looked into her eyes. I saw lots of endurance and pain. I asked, did you have to endure lots of pain? She said, yes, Swami. My father was a very abusive person. He killed my mom, and with the help of a group of people who were visiting India, I came here. Someone told me about your ashram and brought me here. I said, from today you will be a new person. I am naming you Preeti and you will be my daughter from now on. You go to Rama Kutir and study there. I will make arrangements for you. Stay for the day and tomorrow I will send you there. He took her away. Sunitha asked, why did you do that? I asked, changing her name or accepting her as my daughter? She said, both. I replied, when I saw her, I felt the name Preeti for her. She is still young and she has not seen anything of the 137 world. She needs to study, so I am sending her to Rama Kutir to study. I called Vishal and told him, I am sending Preeti, the new girl, to Rama Kutir. You also go with the driver and drop her at Rama Kutir and come back. If you want, you can take Madam along with you. He said, okay, Swami, I will confirm with Madam. After having lunch, Preeti came and sat down. She asked me, how do you know about my pain, Swami? I said, I read the pain in your eyes. I feel eyes are the opening to a person's heart. I can understand a person from their eyes. She showed me Sunitha. Tell her about it from her eyes. I told her, I don't need to look into her eyes to tell you about her. She has a soft heart. She is intelligent, but she doesn't know her own strength. Someday, she needs to take over the reins of a big organization. She accepts it fearfully, but she will excel in her endeavor. She will go to great heights. She asked, then what she is doing here? I said, for everything, there is a time. She has to come out of her previous work relations. She is thinking there is still some chance to go back to her previous employment. When she realizes that she can never go back, she will think about what she needs in her life. Then she will get an opportunity to head an organization. What is the organization? Asked Sunitha. I said, when the time comes, I will let you know. It has something to do with this ashram. Now Preeti asked, what about her, showing Loveleen? I said, she is a lost soul. She has fire in her, which might burst anytime. She is trying to contain it. Preeti asked, what happens if it bursts, Swami? I looked at Loveleen and said to Preeti, I can't tell you what could happen, you are still a child. I put a pillow in front of me and told Loveleen to lie there. When she lay on the pillow, I read the reverse mantra I used on Sunitha to cool Loveleen. After some time, I asked her to open her eyes, but still, the heat has not come down. I continued with the mantra, checked her, found her to be normal and asked her to sit down. Preeti asked, why did you do that, Swami? I said, by asking about her and me replying about her, we have disturbed her chakra, so I have to cool her down. Preeti got up and said I will help in the kitchen and come. When she went away, Sunitha asked, what would happen to Loveleen, Swami? I said, she is like about to burst into a volcano. What will happen when the volcano bursts? Sunitha said, it spews lava. I said, then whatever in her path burst into flames, correct? Sunitha said, yes, Swami. 139. I said, She is like that. If any man puts his hand on her, she would burst and pull the heat from him and he will become cold as ice. That is the reason I brought her here. She would be safe here. Sunitha. What Kumar told about Loveleen, is it correct? If she had such a fire, is there nothing to contain it rather than some temporary solution he provided her? Maybe he is waiting for their reply to his question about what they want from him. That could be the reason. He might have something planned for her. Vishal came over to me and asked, shall I take madam with me or not? I said, you better not take her with you. She is at present very volatile, she may burst out at any time. If any man even lays his hand on her, she might burst out. When her father might come over. He said, I will call him and find out. He asked me, why Swami is not doing anything for her. Then I remembered his wife is pregnant. I said, it might have something to do with his wife being pregnant. He can't perform any yagnam until she gives birth. That is why he might be waiting. It could be the reason he let them decide, and instead of forcing their hand. Kumar. Vishal dropped Preeti in Rama Kutir and came back. I asked him, how is everything in Rama Kutir? Vishal told me whatever is happening in Rama Kutir. He told me about Joy and asked me, why you are letting so talented a person teach in Rama Kutir. I asked, what did you mean by talented? Vishal said, she studied in the USA. I said, so what? Vishal said, she studied computer engineering there. Those people are very rare in India. I asked, how do you know about that? Vishal replied, I have a nephew who has gone to the USA to study computer engineering, so I know about that. I asked, then what should be she doing? Vishal said, something in software engineering or at least teaching software. There are very few people who are so learned here. I asked him, did you inquire with her if she wanted to do that? She told me she ran away from her husband in the USA. That is why she came here to hide. I thought she would be more secure in Rama Kutir and sent her there. If he comes as a devotee we will not know about him. In Rama Kutir, any new person will mostly be known except at the time of Jathara. I will speak with her when I go to Rama Kutir. Vishal asked, your wife is 6 months pregnant, how is that possible? 141. I said, I am a pujari, not a sannyasi. God told me after Lena went away, I should have a girl in my house. Atul misses his sister. So, I stayed back and she is pregnant. Then I will go back to Rama Kutir in the summer. After she gives birth I will think about how I can help your madam. Your masters have until then to decide what they want. I can't perform yagnam when a pregnant lady is present in the house. He said, oh, is that the reason for your dilly-dallying to do anything? Asterisk 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 asterisk. By the time of summer, I am back in Rama Kutir with Sunitha and Loveleen and also Vishal. Sunitha got to stay with Joy and Loveleen I provided a separate room to sleep in. I took Loveleen to the Devi temple and got her to perform puja with the priest there, so at least some of her heat will be reduced. While coming to Rama Kutir I stopped in Visaj and procured homeopathic medicines, especially for Loveleen to reduce her heat. After searching through lots of books, I could get the medicine for Loveleen. I started administering the medicines at night time before she goes to sleep. I know homeopathy medicines would take time to work, and that could be the reason lots of people don't believe in them. I hoped by the time Sneha would give birth to a baby, Loveleen would get cured and at least would show some improvement. I got the house extended in the front and back by installing shades and had some vines grow over them to keep the extended part cool. Over that, I got coolers placed for sitting in the daytime. In the back side, the girls can sit and in the front yard, I would sit and advise the people coming to me. They would be coming for medical advice or regarding timing the various functions at their houses. They could go to the pujaris at the temple but they still prefer me if I am available in the village. Some even wait for me to come to Rama Kutir or call me at the ashram. Balaya came over to me to see his daughter's kandali. Whatever matches come for her are not getting finalized. I told him to give his daughter's date and time of birth. I prepared her kandali. It seems she had some dosha in her kandali. I told him that due to dosha in her kandali she is not getting matches, so we need to do remedial pujas for them. The first one is we have to marry her to a peepal tree. Then we have to take her to Sri Kalahasti and get puja performed there. If we do both of them, the dosha will reduce their strength and she will be ready for marriage. I got the pujari who does marriages in the village to perform the marriage with a peepal tree. Then we all went to Tirupati, had a darshan of the Lord Venkateshwara and proceeded to Sri Kalahasti. We got the puja performed by her there and returned to Ramakutir. By the time everything is finished, Sneha was full months pregnant and we decided to go to Visaj for her delivery. Zamindar offered us to stay in his house for this. 143. So, with the group, we shifted to Visaj. I asked Joy if she wants to teach computers in Visaj, and she agreed happily. When someone from the USA offered donations, I asked them to send computers to us. Vishal's nephew coordinated with them and shipped them to Visaj by ship. Joy appointed a person to look after the hardware of the institute, and one fine day we started Kumar Swami Computer Institute in Visaj for teaching computers. First, we started with limited students as Joy alone was teaching and we could not get any other teachers to teach computers. She said, from the first batch I would select suitable candidates to appoint as teachers. Now on May 21st, Sneha gave birth to a baby girl and we named her Reena in memory of Leena. Joy identified some candidates for teaching computers and started them to give special coaching to absorb as teachers in the institute. When we got some laptops from the USA, we gave some to the teachers and I took one for my personal use. Even though I don't know how to operate it, I thought I should keep one myself and asked Sunitha to learn from Joy and teach me how to use it. We stayed a month in Visaj and returned to Ramakutir. Through Vishal, I sent a message to Loveline's father to take some decisions about his daughter. After a week we received a reply through Vishal. Loveline's father, Mr. Rajveer Khanna, wants to become CM of the newly made state of Delhi. He had already consulted the previous CM aspirant and he asked, "Shall I get a girl for the Yagnam?" I said, his daughter would be sufficient for the Yagnam. We can combine both the Yagnam for him to give a child for his daughter and allow him to contest to the CM of Delhi. It is like hitting two birds with one stone. Rajveer asked, would it be any danger for his daughter? I told him, this would be different Yagnam than what was performed for Zamindar, which was quite a difficult one. Rajveer agreed for the Yagnam to be performed. This Yagnam he asked to be performed at his farmhouse near Delhi. So, with my entourage of Vishal, Loveline and Sunitha, I travelled to Delhi. Vishal took us to the farmhouse from the house we were housed the first time we went to Delhi. This farmhouse has a pleasant atmosphere. Even though it is the rainy season, the hot weather has not receded like in Andhra. We put our baggage down and I gave him a list of items to be brought for the Yagnam. I decided to do this Yagnam in the name of Lord Krishna. First, we went to Madura, the birthplace of Lord Krishna, and got a statue of him and returned. 145. I placed him in a corner with a covered cloth. Then I asked Rajveer Khanna to get Loveline's husband in front of me. Howsoever they brought him to the farmhouse. I took him and Loveline to a room and put the white powder on the door frame and closed the door. I asked him, what is your problem? He said, he does not have any feelings for her. I asked him, are you gay? He asked, what is it? I said, do you want to sleep with men? He said, I am not that kind of a person. Now I am in quandary, what kind of person he is. I made him lay on the bed and asked Loveline to arouse him. There is no reaction in him. It seems he is a kind of impotent person who is incapable of sex. I asked him, now her father is asking for a child for his daughter, and what shall I do? He said, for that purpose only I had taken her to some of his friends, so she will get impregnated with them, but she ran away from them. I said, if you do that without informing her, do you know what are the consequences of that? He said, he did not think of that. I told him, you made her so hot, she is simmering like a volcano inside. If anyone had put her hands on her without permission, I don't know what she could do to that person. So, what do you want me to do? He said, you tell me what to do, and I will cooperate with you fully. I said, I am going to do Yagnam with her and you. This would take a time of 3 months. If you can spare the time in the nights well enough, or I will think of an alternate. He thought for a minute and asked, what time I am required. I said, after 10 p.m. He thought for a minute and said, I am ready to do what you require. The whole day I was performing the puja to Lord Krishna for Loveline's father's improvement in his political career. On the night after Guru, that is the name of Loveline's husband, Gurvinder Singh, came, I took both of them into the room. I had Guru arouse Loveline. When she was asking for sex, I rode her and satisfied her. She was a virgin as proven by the leaking of blood from her vagina. So the puja would be a success from both points. I told them both to sleep off together and went to the other room to sleep. This went on for 2 months. Due to his constant arousal of Loveline and also the medicines I provided to him, he seemed to have some improvement in his arousal. By the time of 3 months he could perform a little and would release a small amount of semen. I was checking her vitals and started to check her urine samples from the 3rd month of our starting pujas. After 15 days it was confirmed that Loveline is pregnant. I sent her with Vishal to get checked for pregnancy in 147. Delhi, where it was confirmed. Now I told her father that Yagnam is successful and he could start his campaign to sit on CM's chair. We took Loveline and with our entourage, we returned back to the ashram. After looking at the affairs of the ashram we went to Ram Kutir. I got a small temple prepared for Lord Krishna and put him in the temple and started to perform pujas. Now people came to know about the installation of Lord Krishna and they started to visit him for praying for various wants. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Now Loveline has become our responsibility and her father has provided all the required support for her. He was busy with his elections and we were busy with our day-to-day routines. By the time Loveline is full months, we shifted to Visage. Now Joy also stays in Visage, so we have a house for staying over there. There is a hospital close by. We got Loveline checked in there and took time with the hospital for delivering Loveline there. Her father was busy with the elections and Loveline started having labor pains and her father's election results were being broadcast over the TV. By the time she gave birth to a baby boy, her father's party had won with an absolute majority. We named the boy Dhruv in a small ceremony. Now with the Computer Institute, Joy started computer software development also. She took her best students and gave training in the development and started to develop software. Using my name she started to get projects and she would develop and deliver the software. Now I have to show a way for Sunitha. She is sitting idle and I decided to purchase a supermarket and named it Kumar Swami Super Bazaar and handed over it to Sunitha to supervise. Zamindar handed his bungalow to us to use for our residential purpose. So, I have shifted our residence from Rama Kudir to Visage. So Atul would not have a problem attending college. Once in a while, I would go and visit the ashram to see how it runs. I don't want them to repeat the fiasco that happened with previous foreigners. I told the trustees to see that the ashram is run piously. I checked the accounts, and we are not into collecting huge donations by the ashram. For that we use Swiss accounts, where people can donate their black money. Now after the washout of the island, those incoming donations have been reduced. But we are not worrying, we are increasing our political clout. From Hyderabad to Delhi our reach has penetrated. Now we are looking after the Delhi CM's daughter too. We have brought another super bazaar and named it Kumar Swami Super Bazaar. Now all our requirements at the ashram are met by these super bazaars. Sunitha is busy running these super bazaars. Whereas we started another computer institute in Hyderabad and Joy went over to look after that. After coming to Visage Sneha 149. Become a little free as the villagers' invitations come down. Now they would only call her on important matters. So for the summer holidays, I sent Sneha with the kids to Bombay to spend their holidays. Until now in Rama Kutir, they were away from relatives. After coming to Visage they connected with our relatives when they went for a marriage of a relative's boy. I sent them one day before the marriage and I reached there by the time of Muhurta. I presented the couple with a honeymoon package to Switzerland. That could be the reason people started to invite us to all kinds of functions. Sneha also called her parents to visit our house and took them to see the ashram. And showed how pious way we do things. Seeing us living the life of Brahmins, they have forgotten their differences and decided to stay back at the ashram as their younger daughter also got married and lived with her husband. They found the ashram atmosphere to their liking and were told they can live there as long as they want without any restrictions. There they found a small boy who came to live there after his parents were killed in an accident. He was homeless and someone brought him and left him there. Sasnia's parents decided to adopt him and would keep him with them. He was also their caste only. Now, as the saying goes, money brings more money. Our super bazaars and computer institutes were a hit and we are getting good profits from them. I kept these business ventures accounts separate and wanted to invest in more businesses. One day one devotee came to me for help. He was working in an oil mill and its owner died. His widow does not want to run the mill and doesn't want to hand it over to any relatives as she feared they would cheat her out of her share. Now, this devotee did not get salaries for the last 3 months and is at his wit's end. I went with the workers of the mill and met the widow. I heard her problems and made an agreement with her. I will pay her some compensation and the mill will run as a cooperative and she would get 50% of the share of the profits and workers would get salaries and would share the remaining 50% of the profits. I would get the oil supplied to our super bazaars at discounted prices and I would transfer the benefit to the customers. Everybody is happy and I would get goodwill from this. Seeing this, another devotee approached me with his factory owner. Now this owner wants to sell his factory outright and he doesn't want to have a share of the profits. I inquired about the price he wants to sell the factory. The price he offered the factory seems reasonable. I have to check the finances, so I told the owner to come the next day and ask the devotee if any of the workers would like to invest in the factory. Check with others and let me know. As for their investment, I would like to offer the profits. They had their meetings and came up with 50% of the price of the factory. I said, I will put the remaining 50% of the price, but I will take my 50% share and would use that share for the betterment of the workers as I see fit. 151. This way I would have some control of the factory and the workers would work in their own interest for the betterment of the factory. I don't want to give anything free, because everybody will come for a free handout. I took an exclusive dealership of the factory and got a godown and started to supply the items produced by the factory to retailers. With these ventures, I am hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. I am gaining respect as a people person and earning a good income in the process. The profits, I am using to help more people. With that, I am taking over neglected temples and creating an environment for poor people to have food and shelter attached to those temples. Now, wherever possible, I started to give it back to the people, by providing facilities in poor people's localities. Whatever I spent I would get back in the form of donations. People started to trust my initiatives and would voluntarily work with me. I started to expand my initiatives to more and more places and got a good response from the people. If I started to show sudden initiative, people would doubt my outlook. But once my initiatives reached people's expectations, they would invite me with open arms. Slowly I started to build ashrams for old people, where they can spend the rest of their lives in peace. Every care is taken for them, from food and shelter in a pleasant atmosphere away from the cities, and the expenses would be borne by the ashram trust. This way I started to use the ill-earned money for the good of the people. Then I started ashrams for old and sick people, where they can get the required treatment. These ashrams are built separately for the sake of maintenance, to treat sick people who need to be near the cities. Where doctors can come and visit the patients. Where specialists are available on call. Seeing the charitable nature of these ashrams, many doctors have come forward to help freely or at low fees. All the companies and factories overlooking I gave to Sunitha, and Joy would look after the education of the poor, and she started schools in various locations for the upliftment of the poor. Loveleen took up the management of the ashrams. Sneha on her part would help other charitable institutions with funds and management. I started a marriage bureau for these poor people. Now we fix the marriages and conduct the ceremonies too for them. Some people would want to have weddings in their own caste only, some don't have any preferences. So according to their preferences, we would select and perform weddings. In this endeavor Joy's software has come to good use. 153. Chapter 7. The year 2010. Kumar. By the year 2010 we not only were running many factories and companies but we were also involved with many charitable institutions and ashrams for the upbringing of the poor. Atul is now a software engineer and looking after the software division with the help of Joy. Reena is in intermediate now. Loveline's son Dhruv is in 10th. Sneha started to lose weight and was not feeling well. I had taken her to the hospital for a thorough checkup and it was found she had breast cancer, and the doctors started treatment for her. Then they did surgery and removed the cancerous part. Then other treatments started. Due to this, my activities took a hit. I have not taken up any yagnam recently and no one approached us. So I was not busy and would only concentrate on my daily pujas and things like checking the business activities. Now software business is looked after by Joy and Atul, and Sunitha looked after other businesses with help of Loveline. Then one day a minister by the name of Kishore Kumar Yadav approached me with a request to get himself to be elected as the next chief minister. I was in two minds as the present CM was to be removed from the post and he wants to be made CM, for that he had to unseat the CM. There is no way for him to win in elections and come to the power after the elections, as the elections have just concluded. He has already spoken to the previous candidates and he said he will provide a girl also. I was not that much interested in the yagnam but he said he will get a girl and he showed the photo also. He said they have selected the girl for this purpose and she was ready to participate in the yagnam when she heard the previous girl went to heaven and came back. I had my reservations about that but agreed to do the yagnam. Maybe it would be my last yagnam. I said I will consult the books and let them know which yagnam can be performed. Whenever I performed yagnam and brought statues of the gods, it has done some good for Rama Kutir and those villagers and devotees who visited the temples. Finally, as it is for good of the village, I decided to do a yagnam without getting a deity. I wanted to use the girl and do puja to her as a goddess. This way I won't be doing anything wrong as far as the girl is concerned. This homam would be performed in the open in the mandapam of the temple used for functions. Everyone can attend and I will put her up in the temple room at the night. After 2 days Yadav brought the girl to the ashram. We brought the girl named Ashritha to Rama Kutir and put her in the designated place. The news about the yagnam is already spread through the surrounding areas. As it is open yagnam, people from surrounding areas started to come to Rama Kutir. Whatever available 155 places to stay were occupied by the people. We have to keep VIPs visiting at our house and Balaya's house. We have made temporary sheds in our backyard for those people who are known people without any accommodation available around. We made arrangements for the yagnam outside the Durga Devi temple. Around the temple, shades were provided for people to sit and watch the yagnam. The atmosphere in Rama Kutir is no less than that for Jathara. On an auspicious date, we started the yagnam by bathing the girl and taking her and sitting her on a small pedestal in front of the temple entrance. Then the fire started in the center of the mandapam where arrangements were made. Another 11-member pujaris have arrived for managing the yagnam. At a time 4 pujaris would start performing the yagnam by reciting mantras appropriate for the puja. After the second day of the puja, the girl was taken to her room and I slept outside her room on a mattress. Around midnight I heard the sound of knocking on the door and after some time, the opening of the door. I went and looked at the opened door. Ashritha was speaking with a man whose back was towards me. I entered the room and closed the door and switched on the light. It was Zamindar's son Harshith. I asked him, "What are you doing here?" He said, "I came to take Ashritha with me, uncle." He calls me uncle and I am his real father and I could not punish him for doing that. I told him to sit down and tell me what happened. He said they had both been in love for the last 3 years. She is not a virgin as they thought and we are having a physical relationship. I said, "It does not matter as I am doing this yagnam for the good of the village and she is not really required for the yagnam. You don't have to worry about her. If you have trust in me you can leave her here. If you want to take her away, you can do so, without anyone's knowledge but you have to bring her back on the completion of the yagnam. If you want you can stay at our ashram for the time being. Our car will take you and bring you back. After the yagnam I will tell your father and get you married to her telling him that she is purified. Is it okay with you?" He said, "It is okay with me uncle. I am ready to listen to you. I called the driver and send them to ashram to bring them back at the time of completion of yagnam. It is your responsibility to bring them back at that time. To accompany them I sent Vishal along. In the morning I let someone else check the room and not finding her they made some noise. I said she went to heaven and will return by the time of completion of yagnam. When the yagnam was completed Vishal brought Ashritha back and put her in the room and locked it from the outside. I let him open the door in front of the villagers and she came out of the room as if she awoke from sleep and said she went to heaven and returned. So this way the yagnam was completed and Harshith came to pay respects. I blessed him with marriage. 157. Zamindar said he is not agreeing to marry. I said here is your daughter-in-law, she came back from heaven purified, make her your daughter-in-law and your wealth will increase tenfolds. He agreed to their marriage and Harshith is happy with the outcome. Now the minister boldened by the yagnam went and created some problems for the CM and sought to be made CM and he became CM in just 25 days after the yagnam. Now Zamindar's son Harshith's marriage is fixed with Ashritha. They wanted the marriage ceremony performed at our ashram. I said if they are ready for vegetarian food to be served, we can perform at the ashram. They agreed to that and I performed the marriage standing beside the couple. Now our son Atul is 26 years of age and I asked him did he have any girl in mind for marriage. He said no. Atul was sent to Mumbai for a software project in a hospital. Atul. I went and took a hotel room and put my luggage there and went to the company which is offering the software project. It is a hospital and I went and met the IT person. The IT manager called his assistant and introduced us. Her name is Molly and seeing her for the first time in my life I am smitten with her. After getting the information from her I noted down the details and sent them to our office for the preparation of documents. After completing my work I left for the hotel. After refreshing, I went out for a walk. As I was crossing the road a motorcycle hit me from behind and ran away. I asked the cab which stopped there, to take me to the hospital where I went for the project, as I would have some known people there. They treated me and took x-rays to verify nothing is broken, told me to come the next day and sent me to my hotel in an ambulance. I went to the hotel room and lay down on the bed. Kumar. Preeti came and told me some foreigners have come to visit me. I said to her to bring them. They came and sat down on the mattresses putting their legs under them. I said sorry we don't have chairs here. If you are uncomfortable we can go somewhere else. One man who looked Indian said, no problem. I am Bob, these people have come to you with a request. I said, if it is reasonable I will never say no to anything. Bob said, you have an island in the Bay of Bengal. I said, yes. He said, they want to build an underground bunker on the island. I said, okay, now it is not occupied by anyone, you can do it. Bob said, they will get all the equipment, along with your permission, they need financial support. I know what is your worth. If you can release $1 million from your Swiss bank accounts, it will be to your advantage. Don't think we are blackmailing you to give the money. After building the bunker they will hand it 159 over to you. They will also be handing over to you an equipment manufacturing company. This will also come to use in future. You need to build some futuristic equipment in that company. When the time comes, you will get the details. I asked, who are you? He asked, do you remember Sahithi? I said, she was here for 7 months and she gave birth to a girl and disappeared and then later her daughter also disappeared. Bob said, it is me who sent her to you and send them back also. We know you were worried about Sneha's cancer. These people will take her abroad and will cure her completely. I think for her sake you won't hesitate to spend the amount. I said, yes, if she is cured of cancer, I will give you double the amount. Bob said, so, it is agreed you will provide the money. Now we don't have a problem with money, but this bunker has to be made with your money only. So you transfer $500,000 to this account and we will start the work. I asked Preeti, get me my laptop. She went and brought my laptop and I transferred the amount to the account given by Bob. Bob said, now we are taking Sneha with us, you come and say goodbye to her. When she is cured she will return. I asked, do you want anyone to accompany her? Bob said, we are taking Preeti with us to accompany her. Now sign these papers to build the bunker. You are handing over the island to this company. I read the documents and signed them. It was mentioned that after the building of the bunker is completed the island will be returned to me. We went over to where Sneha is resting. Bob made a call and a medical helicopter arrived and landed at the ashram. They put her on a stretcher and with Preeti to accompany her, they took Sneha on the helicopter. Atul. Getting ready after having breakfast, I went to the hospital to get a checkup first. As I was entering the main door Molly came in front of me. I said, hello. Molly said, hi, I heard you met with an accident. I said, someone riding a bike hit and run away. Molly asked, now where are you going? I said, yesterday they took some x-rays, I am going to check the reports. She said, come with me, I will take you there and she went and spoke with the technicians. She said, there is no problem you can rest assured. I said, thanks and let us see what information is received from our office. 161. Both of us went to her cabin and she logged in and said, I received an email from your office and they said they will send a demo copy of the software. I said, I will download the demo copy and install it for you. Can you turn the laptop towards me? I left my laptop in the hotel room. She gave me the laptop and I logged into the FTP server and downloaded a copy of the executable and database backup. I asked her, do you have an SQL server installed? She said yes. I asked, can you connect it for me? She opened the management studio and I restored it from the backup copy downloaded. I installed the setup file from the downloaded executable and said, you can check it out. I sat with her and showed her how to run the application. We worked for an hour and she said, I will speak with our manager and come back to you. I asked her, is there any good restaurant nearby for having lunch? She said, if you want to have a good South Indian restaurant I will show you, come with me. She got up and I also got up and followed her. She went to the parking and took a scooter and told me to sit behind her. I tried to sit behind her and don't know how to sit. She rebuked, sit properly, haven't you sat on a scooter before? I said, no, we always travel in cars. She said, okay, then catch me on the shoulder. I caught her and put my legs on the stand she showed me and she drove us to a restaurant 20 minutes away. I got down and she parked the scooter and said come, and we both entered the restaurant. We sat down at an empty table and she said, I will order, I know what items are good here. I nodded my head. After ordering she asked, what your father does, business? I said, no, he is a philanthropist. She asked, what is that? I said, he helps people in need. All our businesses are for helping people only. We run many charitable institutions. Dad runs many old age homes, ashrams, dispensaries, etc. Most of our businesses we run because of the workers. When the businesses become sick, the workers come to my father and he helps them by paying the owners and letting them run the factories or businesses. You might have heard the name Kumar's. She said, I heard it is run by some kind of Swami. I said, when you hear the name Swami, your first impression is that he is some kind of cheat, who does magic and takes money from gullible people. But my father is not like that, he never asks for money. His motto is to help people in need. Anyone can come and stay for free in our ashrams. We run some ashrams for sick. 163. People too. We give free treatment. Whatever we earn in our businesses we give back to people only. Then my mobile rang. I looked at the phone and said, it is Dad, he never calls me. I took the call and said, what happened, Dad? Dad said, Mom is going abroad for treatment, so I called for you to say goodbye. I said, I will make a video call and Dad showed me Mom being taken on a stretcher to a waiting helicopter. I asked, why they are taking on a helicopter Dad? He said, they are taking her to the airport. I said, bye Mom, we'll see you after you come back. Molly said, let me speak with her. I turned the phone towards her and Molly said, Namaste Auntie, I am Molly, I work in a hospital here. She must have folded her hands. Molly also folded her hands. She came and sat beside me to look at the call. When the helicopter lifted off, Dad came back on the line and said, "I heard you were in Bombay." I said, "I came here for a software project." He said, "They wanted to build an underground bunker on our island. They said it is required for our future." I asked, "Are there going to be some problems in the future?" He said, "I am not sure. After building it, they said they will transfer it back to us. First, they are going to treat your mother." That is why I agreed to their proposal. I said, "It is okay." He said, "I will speak with you when you return." Molly asked, "What happened with your mother?" I said, "She had cancer and they operated on her and now it seems they are taking her abroad for treatment." Molly asked, "Don't you stay with your parents?" I said, "We stay in the city and they stay at the ashram. She finds it peaceful there." She asked, what he is talking about, an island. I said, "We had an island, he must be referring to that." She asked, "How can you own an island?" I said, "It has been given by the government for some work. You should come and see our ashrams, you will understand. I will tell your boss, you are required to get trained at our head office for running this software and you can come after training and visit our ashram." She nodded, "I would like that." After lunch, we both went back to the hospital and I went and met the IT manager. We talked about the pricing and I assured him of competitive pricing and asked him to send Molly to our home for training in software coding, so she can maintain the software herself. He agreed to send her if she had no objection. I told him to confirm with her, and went to Molly's cabin. I told her about my discussion with her manager. I said, "I will go and meet my grandparents and come." 165. She asked, "Are your grandparents here in Bombay?" I said, "Yes." She said, "I would like to meet them." I said, "Then we will go in the evening." She said okay. Around 5 p.m., Molly came to me and said, "Let us go to your grandparents." "Where did they stay?" I said, "In Bandup." Molly said, "Then we can go on my scooter." I sat behind her on the scooter and we rode to Bandup and then I directed her to their building. We parked outside their compound and went by lift to their flat and rang the bell. Then my mobile phone rang. I said 1 minute to Molly and took the call from Dad. I said, "Hi Dad, we are at grandfather's house." He said, "I am coming by the first available flight there, you be there only. After reaching there I will call you." I said to Molly, "It is Daddy, he is coming to Bombay. After a long time he is coming here, he must have remembered his parents now." Seeing the door opened by my grandmother, I went in and hugged her and Molly gave her a namaste. She said, "Come in, and who is this girl with you?" I said, "She is Molly, I came to their hospital for software installation. She brought me here." She said, "Come sit, I will call your grandpa." She went and brought him to the hall. He came and sat on the sofa and we chit-chatted for some time and I told them about Dad coming to Bombay. Granny said, "He remembered us now." I said he is very busy with all the charitable things he is doing. It must be something very important for him to come here on such short notice. After dinner, Molly said, "I will come in the morning to pick you up." I said, "I will drop her at the parking and come." Kumar. I sat down in my hut and started to meditate. I felt someone is telling me something. Then someone said to come to Bombay and find for yourself. I opened my eyes and thought, what is in Bombay? Why do I need to go to Bombay? I remembered Atul went to Bombay for some work. I called him and said, "I am coming to Bombay and you stay at your grandfather's house." I checked the schedule for the flight to Bombay. The first available flight to Bombay would be at 11 a.m. I told them to book the flight, took my bag and went over to Visage for the night. I reached home and informed them about Sneha being taken to the USA for treatment, and said, "I am going to Bombay." Reena wanted to come with me. 167. Seeing her, Dhruv asked, "I also want to come to Bombay." Seeing their enthusiasm, I called and said to book tickets for these kids also. We got down at the Sahara airport and booked a cab for rent. So the cab will be with us. First, we went to Bandup and after visiting Mom and Dad and dropping off these two kids, I took Atul and Molly and came to Vakola, where I was instructed to come. I remember Sahithi's house when we came to check up on Leena's mom. Sahithi took her to her house. We looked at the house and it was in a dilapidated state. I inquired about them in the surrounding houses. They said they went away abroad long back. No one has come to claim the house and no one goes near the houses. Sounds come from there in the night and they declared it a ghost house. I went and stood near the door. I felt a presence in the house. Someone is asking to release them from this hell. I thought, what is the message I received? It says to go to the Maharashtra Sena Pramukh's office. I asked, where is the Sena Pramukh's office? Seeing us coming by car, one boy said, he will take us there. We went inside the office and a man of around 50 years is sitting behind the table. The nameplate in front of him has become old and the name was not visible. I stood before him and said Namaste. Seeing my dress, he said, come and sit, what can I do? I said, I am Kumar, you might remember Mr. Krishna from P&T Colony, he must have come to you with Mr. Pawar. He said, Mr. Pawar, yes, what can I do? I said, do you remember Sahithi and her family who used to stay half a mile down the road? He said, yes, I remember her, she was coming to the Type Institute nearby, I heard they went away abroad. I said, they did not go abroad, if they had gone abroad, they would have come at least after 2-3 years as required by the law. I have received a message they might have been murdered and were buried in the house. He asked, how do you know that? I said, God came to me and told me, how would I know? Their souls are calling and I understood them now and came here. He asked, who are you really? Atul said, he is Kumar Swami and we have many charitable institutions all over India. We also know many people in power, but we don't use their names. I stopped Atul and said, when I first came to Bombay in 1984, Sunitha came to me with a request for help. She was 3 months pregnant then and she was scared to go home. I took her to her home and found the door locked. Later we came to know she came to us from the year 1982. We took her to our house and she gave birth to a girl and disappeared. Then later her daughter too disappeared. As per our understanding then she was not 169. From our universe, she came from somewhere else and they returned them at appropriate times. Now recently someone sent me a message that in some other universe similar thing happened and there they found the bodies of Sahithi's family buried in their house and Sahithi was sold out to a person in Calcutta. He has taken your help and found the bodies. So he asked me to contact you, and you will take appropriate action regarding this. Deshpande asked, did he say who might have murdered them? I said, he said a person named Suresh who is involved with a certain gang head named Dolly, and he is involved in her kidnap and their murder. Deshpande sat there thinking for some time and said, we have got some reports of suspicious activity around that house. Let us go and see. We went to the house and he broke the lock on the door and we looked inside. The floor stones were removed and the floor seemed to be dug out and filled. As the bodies must have been buried, no one suspected anything, because there was no foul smell. He called someone on his mobile phone. After 20 minutes SI came there. Deshpande introduced him as the Kola police station SI. He told him, this man is Kumar, has come from Andhra Pradesh. He has known Sahithi who stayed in this house a long back. He says he has received some information that someone killed and buried her parents here. He went to the jeep and called the concerned department. They came after 45 minutes and they dug up and found 5 bodies of adults and 1 child. They went and checked the inside rooms and found traces of dried blood on the floor and walls. The SI said, it seems they are murdered here and buried in the hall. Atul, who was standing outside, asked, what happened? I said, their whole family was killed and buried here. Atul asked, who is she? I said, do you remember Leena's mother's photo we had in our house? He said, yes, Sahithi auntie. I said, it seems she and her family were buried here. Atul asked, you mean to say Sahithi auntie is dead? I said, I am not telling that. I came here with Sahithi auntie in 1984, at the time we were told they have gone abroad. So it must be some other Sahithi. I went to the SI and asked him, can I do small puja to release the souls trapped here? He said without disturbing the crime scene, if you can do your puja, you may go ahead. I stood outside the house and read some mantras and poured water on the floor. I tried to feel for any souls in the surrounding. There do not seem to be any souls. I said to Atul and Molly, let us go, and gave my card to Deshpande and told him to call me if any information is available. 171. He said, I will check for Suresh and find out what really happened here. We sat in the car and drove to Bandup where my parents are staying. On the way I struck up a conversation with Molly. I said, sorry I could not speak with you earlier, I was disturbed by the news received. She asked, where did you get the message from? I said, it must be some other Kumar, I was told Leena's father also looks like me. Sahithi first thought I was Kumar and was asking me about this Dodi and all. Then I did not understand what she is telling. Now after Bob came to take Sneha to the USA, I started receiving communications from him. He was telling someone my story. I don't know how he could know my story. He was telling someone about us. From the time I and Sneha went to Nimish's house and how she gave us some money to elope and go and stay in the fields. How we became doctors and how I became pujari and all that story. Then when he came to the story of my visiting Sahithi's house and finding it locked as they have gone abroad. He seemed to correlate the story and told them how he had found Sahithi's dead parents' bodies buried in their house with the help of Shaka Pramukh Deshpande. So I decided to follow his advice and went to Deshpande. Then he went on to tell how they found Sahithi was kidnapped by Suresh and sold to someone from Calcutta and they had to take the help of police to smash the gang that kidnaps girls and sells them. He said the gang is run by one Dolly and one Rakesh Khanna. Atul asked, but, how could you hear him telling the story? I said, Bob coming to take your mother has something to do with that. That Kumar seems to get connected with Bob. He was telling about developing products which were given by Bob to someone else. Molly asked, what kind of products he had developed. I said, he was talking about a transporter, invisible cloak and shape-shifting machine. Atul asked, I understand what the other two but what is the transporter? I said, he was telling with the help of a machine from Bombay to Delhi one could go in a second. Molly said, wow, Bombay to Delhi in a second. Can we develop them here? I said, I don't know, we were not given anything by Bob. Only he was asking for the island we used for foreigners. Atul asked, what will he do with the island? I said, maybe he will develop those products there. He said he went to Manali to meet Sunitha. What is she doing there? I will let you know if I receive any more information. We reached home and Molly went and met Dhruv and Reena. They all sat down and are exchanging stories. I sat with Mom and Dad and told them about Sneha's cancer and her being taken away to the USA for treatment. Mom served lunch and we finished. I lay on the sofa and closed my eyes. Asterisk 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 asterisk. 173. I saw Kumar speaking with Loveleen about our stories. He said, another Kumar married Loveleen and he had a son named Atul, and Atul married Molly and they both worked in their father's company as software developers, and his daughter Joy took divorce and looked after her mother's firm. Then same Kumar's timeline split and he divorces Loveleen and he meets Joy, who is killed by her husband, and then he meets Pauline and he offers her to work with him as PA. Then Loveleen comes back into his life and he remarries her and he has 2 kids with her, Atul and Joy, and Loveleen dies in an accident. Here Atul meets Molly in his college and during the virus pandemic, she comes and stays with them. Nothing further is known about them. Then he tells about another timeline and another Kumar. He shifts to Bombay after his SSC and studies for 5 years of college in Bombay with the neighbors Suri and his sisters. After Suri's sisters marry and go away, he meets Sahithi and learns typing and shorthand with her and he joins the courier company as a stenotypist and later with Sahithi goes to Delhi for an interview, where he had one night stand with Sahithi. She goes missing and he meets Sunitha when he goes to Madras for office work, and when they were about to marry, Sunitha goes and brings Sahithi's son Atul. Sunitha joins the airline as an air hostess and becomes busy with work. He meets Loveleen and he has a relationship with her. And on her insistence, he helps her get a child, Dhruv. Later Joy joins his firm and he is troubled by her past with her husband and tries to save her from his clutches. Later he meets Nandini when he goes to develop software for their hospital, and she comes and joins him in the software firm, and she seduces him when they go to the USA. Later when Sunitha gives birth to a girl, Nandini and Joy go and file an insolvency petition to dissolve the company to get back their share in the capital. That Kumar safeguards his investment by transferring the software licenses to a company set up in the name of Atul and Dhruv, and they purchase the servers and computers by a third party. Later Joy was killed by her husband who came from the USA. I felt a touch on my shoulder and a voice calling Daddy. I opened my eyes. It is Dhruv. He handed me a cup of tea. I took the cup and nodded my head. I completed my cup and put it in the kitchen and went to look at the kids sitting and chatting in the bedroom. After seeing Molly, I remembered what he was telling them about Molly. It seems their friendship extends to many timelines. I sat down with them and asked for Molly's family details. Her father is a software professional and her mother is a homemaker, and she has an elder brother, who moves in political circles. I thought I should meet her parents and fix their alliance now when I am in Bombay. I don't know if I could make time to come again immediately. I called Atul aside and told him I would like to meet Molly's parents. Atul asked, "What is the need for meeting them now?" I said, "I had seen your future with Molly and I want to bring her as a daughter-in-law. By the time your mother 175 comes back from treatment, I want to fix everything and surprise her." Atul went and spoke to Molly and explained to her my request. She went out into the balcony and spoke on her mobile and returned. She said, "Dad told me to come after 5 p.m. I looked at Panchangam and said, "We will visit them at 5:35 p.m. Molly went away to make arrangements for our visit. In the evening we took the car we rented and another cab and went over to Molly's house. They have a house near Andheri East, near Kirti College. When we parked in front of the society and entered the gate, I felt a déjà vu. I have visited this place many times. I never came this way the few times I had visited Bombay. They have a one-hall kitchen flat. We met Molly's family and introduced ourselves. When inquired about how long they are staying here, Molly replied, "We brought this house some 2 years ago from the owner's nephew. The owner's whole family died one after the other. First owner's adopted son died and the son's wife followed, and then the owner's wife and himself. Then his nephew and son's brother took over the financial matters in his hand and sold this house to us. Dad inquired about their family and finally fixed the next day for a simple engagement ceremony." We had a simple engagement ceremony with exchanging of fruits, flowers and new clothes, and later with exchanging of rings by Atul and Molly. After the ceremony, we returned to Dad's house. Normally we don't have lunch or dinner at the time of engagement. So, after lunch, we sat around and exchanged stories. My mobile rang and it is Sneha calling from Rao's hospital in Hyderabad. After curing her of cancer they brought her to Hyderabad and joined her in a private ward there. I said, "We will come by the first available flight," and cut the call. We caught the first flight to Hyderabad and we called Joy to get us an office car. The car was waiting outside arrivals and we sat in the car and told the driver to go to Rao's hospital. We went to the reception and inquired about Sneha. They told us she is in PR3. We all trooped to PR3. Sneha is sitting on the bed. She seemed younger by at least 10 years. She was not only cured of cancer, she must have been refreshed. I stood behind them and let the children speak with her. Sneha was telling her experiences when she went for treatment. She said, she was not taken to the USA for treatment. I was taken to another Rao's hospital and it was run by another Kumar, who is younger and a doctor 177. By name of Mitali Sharma, who is his 10th classmate. They have given me some experimental medicine. When I was cured, Kumar brought Sahithi and Leena and showed me. Sahithi thanked me for helping her and looking after Leena for 7 years. Kumar explained to me that I am in there 1995. I was taken to the past for treatment. After that Bob brought me and dropped me here and called you and informed you about me being cured and all that. After they all hugged her and went out saying we'll come after 5 minutes. I sat on the chair and inquired what she has encountered. She asked how much did you spend for treatment. I said, I would say not for treatment. I promised to pay $1 million for building a bunker on our island. They said they will build it and will transfer it to me. I paid half the amount and I think Bob will come for the balance now. I called Joy and asked her to book flight tickets on first class for journey to Visage. We reached our house and made Sneha comfortable on her bed. Dhruv came and told me, Dad, someone came to meet you. I went to meet them. It is Bob. I told him to sit and told Dhruv to get my laptop. I asked, so, what is the news? From what Sneha tells me, you did not take her to the USA, instead you took her to an hospital in Hyderabad. Bob replied, I took her with an intention of taking her to the USA, but at the last minute I came to know of the experimental treatment developed by Rao's hospital. So, I got her joined there. I asked, but what Sneha says she has seen me another Kumar and also met Sahithi and Leena. Bob said, I came to tell you about him. He is another you, and you were split after coming back from Nellore after meeting with Sneha. He has taken another route and you with the help of Namisha took another route. After meeting with his daughter Leena and Sunitha, he had taken a vow to put his life in order and went to Bombay. He has become an industrialist with sheer hard work, and you with your ingenuity and hard work rose to be this position. Now my boss has called me to bring the best person for some job. I am taking him with me to meet our boss and after returning I will come and meet you. For the time being you transfer the balance payment. If you want to see the work in progress with regard to the island bunker I will take you there. I said, Sneha just returned, I would like to spend some time with her. I will look at the island bunker later. I took laptop from Dhruv and sent the amount to the number Bob provided. I handed the laptop to Dhruv and said to Bob, are you satisfied now? 179. Bob got up and said, I will meet you after 2 years. We will discuss further on this, and went away. Dhruv asked, what is he talking? I said, he was talking about Leena's father and mother. He is telling he will take Leena's father to meet with his boss and after coming back, will come and meet us. I don't know why should we concerned about his affairs. I took Sneha to the dining hall and we had our lunch. After lunch I lay Sneha on her bed and lie myself on a sofa to take a nap. I saw that Kumar being facilitated by Chamber of Commerce and after that he threw a party for Loveleen's birthday. There were many VVIPs present. It seems he has married Loveleen and she is carrying a baby on her hand. I learned that his name is Dhruv. At the party he was speaking with Mitali Sharma, she was in our 10th class. Then he took her to the hospital. He was standing in a type of lift and they reached the hospital in Hyderabad. He introduced her to Sneha and told her that she has come for cancer treatment, she should look after her like a family member. Later he took Sahithi and Leena to visit Sneha. Then he sent her with Bob when she is fully cured. Bob returned to him and said I will show the island bunker and took him there and explained him the purpose of the bunker. Bob said, this is where we are operating from at present. We were trying to read the future, but we can't move forward from 2021 September. So, we don't have any idea of the future of this earth. There are going to be life-changing events after September 2021. We decided to merge all the timelines we have split your life into. At present we have 7 timelines running and 7 Kumars with their families, which are slightly different in each timeline. Each Kumar is also into different occupations with different assets he accumulated. We will shift all of you into a single place in the original timeline and would merge these timelines. When these timelines are merged each of you will also be merged and become one person with the abilities of many. After the merging, we will check each of you and find your abilities and as per the situation at the time we will inform you what your role in the world would be. Quote. We hope you will take appropriate decisions at the required time and bring the world from the turmoil. Kumar asked, why do you think the world is going into turmoil and who would be responsible? Bob said, you must have read the story of Lord Krishna, how he with the help of Pandavas went and destroyed the Rakshasas. Somewhere someone is left over or hidden by them. They are working underground and are trying to destroy the world. If you have seen the history of the 20th century, it started with the First World War 181. And then Spanish flu hit the world. Then there is the Wall Street crash of 1929. Then World War II. Now some countries in Africa are reeling under famine. But all over the world, it is cyclones, floods and loss of life and crops. Then there is a war in the air. Then we don't know what they planned. Kumar asked, who are they? Bob said, I told you they are whom you refer to as Rakshasas or demons. They must be planning something huge. They have links to a lot of terror organizations. Whenever a major event happens in the world they would have some hand in it. Like the Twin Towers attack, and the Mumbai terror attacks to name a few. Now the world is inching toward the Great Pralayam, that is the Great Flood. If it happens there is no way the world could recover from it and the total earth and its life forms would be destroyed. There is no way we can recover mankind from such an event. We don't have the manpower to do that. We have requested extra manpower but our heads have refused to provide help saying this has to happen now or later. Our hands are tied, so we are left with doing our own experiments to save mankind. Now our representative Kalki is supposed to be raised at this point, but we could not get our head to send the required DNA for doing that. So, we created you and to make you stronger, we have created timelines and will merge them to make you a stronger person. Then on, you will be called Kalki. You will be the savior of the world. Kumar asked, but what can I do to stop all this? Bob replied, you are the most read person of all. I have made sure you have read all the Puranas to understand what was the past and how they all have worked to bring the world into order. You are also the most knowledgeable person of all the Kumars. You have already read all the timelines and their effects on the world. I have seen how you change the atmosphere in the world with your knowledge of the future. By stopping the assassination, how you change the future by stopping the Babri Masjid demolition, had proponed the nuclear testing. You have used the knowledge acquired through the mind-reading machine, by putting it to good use. You could come with big companies, which no other Kumar could do. With your efforts, you have changed the world order and made India one of the most advanced countries in the world. Now our superiors have asked me to bring you to them to have some consultations. You hand over the company to Loveleen to look after while we visit my boss. He asked Bob, how long will it take to go and come? Bob said, it might take around a year. Kumar asked, where are we going, which will take a year to travel? 183. Bob said, we will be going to Mars and my boss would be reaching there. We will consult him and will return, so the total time would be 2 years. I asked, you mean to say, I should keep away from these businesses for at least 2 years? Bob said, do you doubt they can't take care of the businesses when you are away? Kumar thought I am not dead Kumar who left his partners to fend for themselves. I have given them enough training and free hand to run the companies. Can't they look after the companies for 2 years? I can delegate authority to Loveleen to look after the companies. She can check the blueprints prepared by the AI and then send them for production. The board can appoint someone to take charge or let Loveleen look after the companies until I return. If I go with Bob at least I will have an idea what I can expect in the future, which I have no idea at present time. Instead of worrying what happens after 2020, I can prepare myself for that period. I am already ahead of 20 years in technology. Kumar said, I know they can run the companies without my intervention. The AI can take care of the products for many years coming. I don't think there will be something to be care of immediately, either politically or personally. Bob said, that is the spirit, let us go back to Bombay and you prepare for the journey. I make arrangements to travel to Mars. So, that is what Bob is telling about that Kumar, he is taking him to meet his boss on Mars. What is he doing there? I think he will come back and give me details. I don't have to worry about that anymore. My next plan is to get Atul and Molly's wedding preparations. Now Sneha is returned, she would be happy to look after the arrangements. She must be little tired from the traveling, she should be okay in a week's time. Asterisk 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 asterisk. We fixed a date for Atul's wedding and went over to Bombay to attend the marriage ceremony. With us Sunitha, Joy and Loveleen and our children have come to Bombay. By this time I have purchased a 3-bedroom flat for the new couple to stay at Bandup near our parents' house. After the wedding I arranged for them to go to honeymoon to Switzerland and we returned to Visage. To be continued in the sequel, The Rays of Kalki. 185.